Second journalist dies while covering Qatar World Cup.
Here's a summary of the article.
The global kingpin of mozzarella cheese fended off a lawsuit from two of his nieces seeking nearly $1 billion in damages after a jury decided that James Leprino and other major shareholders had not financially oppressed them as alleged. In the original complaint, filed in Denver District Court in July 2020, Mary and Nancy Leprino alleged that their uncle, his daughters, and his son-in-law had operated the company for their own financial reward while depriving the minority shareholders of their legal rights and financial interests. The nieces own about 17% of Leprino Foods between them. Their sister, Laura, did not participate in the litigation, though she owns a small stake. The trial included a secret recording of James Leprino from 2019, in which allegedly declared that his niece's holdings should be considered worthless for tax purposes, since their minority stakes would be exceedingly difficult to sell on the open market. His attorneys sought to spin the recording in their favor. Leprino hadn't admitted to screwing over his relatives. Instead, he was simply trying to act in their best interest. Leprino Foods, which today has over 5,000 employees and is worth billions of dollars, began humbly in the 1950s, when Susie and Michael A. Leprino sold handmade mozzarella and ricotta to Denver groceries. Around the same time, the nieces were also barred from headquarters, though James Leprino claimed they were only kept away for maybe a couple weeks or a week even.
This post received a score of 6,800, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The worst World Cup in history. Fuck FIFA.
So far, wait till what North Korea 2030 will bring to the table.
Omicronian from Omicron per se 8. #WE will host the next FIFA Cup and have humans as appetizers. There will be no negotiations. IAMLRR ruler of Omicron PERSEI8.
Y'all got good bribes over there?
Populars anyone?
Human rights abuses, anti-Semitism, homophobia that can range into the death penalty, corruption, 2 dead journalists now and the same day, a migrant working as a security guard fell off the top of the outside of a stadium.
FIFA is an event where people of all colors and nationalities can unite to drop pretense that any of them cared about the most brutal forms of slavery.
I don't want to overgeneralize, but here I go. As someone who was extremely competitive in my youth, it's gateway behavior to conservatism and hierarchies. There is a very real sense that the most competitive people on the planet are the most conservative. It itches all the right spots: nationalism, superiority, tribalism, self-importance. As I get older, I get less competitive. I also have become less conservative. Conservatives famously don't give a shit about human rights, because they only care they are superior. Generalization done.
You just articulated why I've always despised the peer pressure to be competitive and be the best, as if my value as a living being is that conditional. My narc dad dangled conditional love, like a carrot I could never earn. Was never good enough. Rebelled against unfair competitive pressure and demands on my person from so-called authority figures ever since, and told them to shove their delusional sense of superiority and hierarchy pyramid schemes up their ass.
I'd argue that while be the best isn't a healthy mindset, peer pressure isn't totally negative. A society where nobody is pressured to perform well is a society where we start to be content with what we have.
Probably true, and I likely overcorrect to this day, where I have a total lack of ambition and aversion to any hierarchical structures. That said, I do have passion that I apply, without looking at or comparing myself to others. Just learning and improving for the sake of the joy of learning, like a little kid. So, it is possible to do it another way. IMHE.
Will Qatar file those cases to the ICC? Will an international investigation be requested?
What would the ICC have to do with anything?
I think he means ICJ. Foreign nationals associated with press die of suspicious circumstances in foreign lands. Easy cases, but will lead to nowhere because Qatar will be the one who investigate.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.